Hello and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Ellen Henry and I'm a circus performer and handstand coach. So today's video is how you can learn and go about fixing some of the most common handstand struggles. There are a myriad of handstand problems that arise when we're learning and when we keep going with handstands that often we don't know how to solve. So hopefully this video today will be able to help you solve any of those handstand problems that you are having. If you're new here, please jump over on Instagram and give me a follow there, or TikTok if that is your chosen platform on your phone. I post a lot more short form content over there with lots of tips and hacks, and also a lot more stuff on mindfulness and healthy living. Okay, so one of the first most common things when you're learning to handstand, so we're going to build up from like beginner to like a little bit more intermediate, more sort of like general handstand problems. So number one common problem that people have that you struggle with when you're learning to handstand is not knowing what to do with your body. People are throwing things like engage your core, round your back, open your shoulders, and when you're first learning to handstand, kicking up into the handstand, you might be like, it's a lot to think about, and you're throwing yourself upside down, which means your brain has to try and work out where those body parts are in the air rather than normal right way up. So my solution to this is working on these body cues while lying down. One of the most common ones is this core engagement, and you want to think about pushing your back into the ground and engaging that core. And then you want to make sure that you are like squeezing your arms and your legs and everything else. So I'm a big fan of these drills. I call them activation drills or body cue drills, and it's essentially just working on those body cues, lying down on the ground first before going up into a handstand and trying to do them. Now the great thing about these drills is you are going to be able to like actually focus on each of those body cues and work on understanding them before even like going upside down, which is going to be super helpful. Now there's a whole bunch of these activation drills. I'm not going to go over them in this video, but I will link a video up here that goes over all of those activation drills. It is truly a great video for those that are just starting out with handstands. Okay, this next really common struggle when you're learning to handstand is learning to balance on your hands. This is honestly one of the trickiest parts of a handstand because we're holding our whole weight up with our hands, and we're making our hands act like feet to hold ourselves up. And there's a lot of stuff that contributes to this, namely like your shape and that nice stacked handstand shape, which I will cover in the next point. But one of the things that we can do to start working on this balance and to help you understand it and start to get it to click for you is some drills down nice and low on the ground. If you watch a lot of my videos, you will hear me harp on about these, and they are froggies. Froggies are honestly awesome because it means you're nice and low down to the ground and you can slowly put your weight onto your hands, and you can work on that gripping the ground and blocking and resisting with like your fingertips and the base of your palm. Now, that froggy drill is just one of so many drills that you can do to work on that balance. I recently created a handstand guide for exactly all of these problems and going in depth for all of the stretches and drills you can do to try and fix these. So if you're struggling with your balance, this guide is going to be your best friend because it's got froggies, it's got awareness drills, it's got heaps of more advanced drills as well, so like box assisted holds, and so many more that are going to help you to start to gain some understanding and get practice on your hands so that you actually learn how to balance on your hands and you'll get closer to being able to hold your handstand as well. I'll leave the link for this guide down the description box below so you can check it out there. So, as I said before, your shape, your alignment, your stacked handstand shape is a thing that really affects your handstand. This kind of comes back to those activation drills. They are going to really help you to get this stacked handstand shape. And then also certain drills are going to help you to start to understand and to practice parts of this handstand, to break it down and not try and have to get the whole thing straight away. And within this stacked shape, one of the most common thing that I often tell people that they need to be working on and that is hindering their handstand progress is having closed shoulders. Now, this is what that looks like. It's this angle. Our shoulders are closed and they're back towards us. Often this will show up in the fact that you'll find that you won't be able to like get your legs up. You'll feel like you're a bit off balance and you'll want to shift your shoulders forward, which is only going to aggravate the problem. So the best way that you can work on opening up your shoulders is working on your shoulder flexibility. So for this, any of our cat stretches where you are opening up your shoulders and pushing them down towards the ground are going to be your best friend. It's really important here that you're not flaring your shoulders out and you're rolling them in towards you. You also don't want to be arching your back. Really isolate those shoulders. You can also do a variation of this where you just have your elbows on the ground or on a box, and once again doing the same thing, dropping those shoulders down towards the ground. Now, there are so many more stretches you can do to help your shoulders to open them up if they are particularly strong and tight. And then there are also some drills as well that you can work on to help open up those shoulders and understand where you're trying to push them. I'm not going to go into all of those exercises because there are just too many, but if this is something that you are struggling with, like it's really hindering you and you just find that you can't fix it, the Handstand Troubleshooting Guide, it has so many more drills and stretches and just an understanding about like body cues to look for. It's all in there. So next up we have not progressing in your handstand training. Now this really applies to any levels that you are at in your handstand training, because often you'll find that you improve really fast in some areas, or some things just click for you and you understand them quicker than other things are. And the other thing is sometimes you'll find that you progress in other areas. Like you might find some parts easier, like your jump straddle to handstand compared to your press to handstand. This is completely normal. And it can be so frustrating and demotivating, but I really encourage you, these times when you're struggling, they're so important for you to keep pushing, to keep going. Honestly, this section, it's more of a mindset rather than like what you can physically do. Like handstands, they're a skill. They require a mental capacity, not just a physical capacity from you. Now, 2 actionable things that you can do to help this are: 1, having a program, having a handstand program that's been written for you or that you've made for yourself, and having a program that is working you towards your goals. This is super important. It's how you are going to progress. And then on top of having that training program is training consistently. Training consistently is my #1 tip to progressing and to getting past those points when you are stagnant. as well. If you want more tips on how to progress and things like motivating and mindset, the Handstand Troubleshooting Guide also covers all of those sections in detail, and there are so many more valuable tips that I consider like top secrets to helping you with that mindset for your handstand training. So make sure you check that out if you really want to learn more about those things. Alright, my final point is not so much a what you're struggling with in your handstands and how to fix it, but more what learning about all of these solutions and problems, common problems that you can have in a handstand can help you just in general as well. So annoying construction sounds, we're gonna move through them. These couple problems aren't the only problems that you can have when you're training handstands. There are other problems like banana back, your like hamstring flexibility affecting your kick up, or your arm flexibility can also hinder things. Not being strong enough to hold yourself upside down in the very beginning stages, not understanding body cues, or struggling with like one of those particular things, like something within that as well, can be really frustrating. I'm not going to go into all of those problems, but my handstand troubleshooting guide does go into all of these problems with solutions and drills and stretches and exercises that you can do to help them. So check it out if you experience any of those problems, because honestly, sometimes just that like one little piece of information delivered in just the right way can click something in your brain, and then it can really help you to like move past that really annoying like sticky barrier of a point in your handstand training. And even if you don't find that you are hitting a point where you're struggling with any of these things in particular, it is also really important for your handstand in general is just learning about these things and having the knowledge about them so that you are understanding what can happen and the stretches and drills and exercises that you should be including to prevent those things as well. So it's not just about fixing the problems, it's about how we can prevent them as well, because these things can arise as well. Like you might end up getting your handstand and then you might be training for a while and maybe something starts to slip. Like maybe you start to get a banana back and you're like, oh my gosh, why am I now getting a banana back? Like, okay, I know how to fix that now. So it's really important that you learn about the solutions for these things so that you can prevent them from happening. Those are all the common handstand struggles that I'm going to cover today, but I really hope this video you have found helpful, and if you do end up checking out the handstand troubleshooting guide, that helps you as well if you are struggling with any of these things that I've talked about today. Also, if there is something that I have missed, maybe chuck it down in the comments below and hopefully I can help you out or get you on the right track. As always, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like because it really supports my channel and I really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified anytime I upload a new video. And as always, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Oh, more uploads does its thing. That was a struggle.